Hi, welcome to Bookie. To unlock more world-class bestseller, please download our app. Just search for BOOKEY at Apple Store or Google Play. You will get 7 days free trial with more features. Today we will unlock the book The Upside of Irrationality. We usually think humans are rational and that the decisions we make should conform to our best interests. So, can we be as rational as a machine that is sensitive and good at computing? For example, when we are sick, do we strictly follow the instructions the doctor gives us? Or when trying to lose weight, do we stick to a nutritious diet and workout plan every day? Unfortunately, we don't always succeed. What's more, in many cases, we are irrational. For example, we will feel angry when treated rudely or when we are hurt. At this time, the rational approach would be to control our emotions because revenge would have negative consequences. However, in most cases, we are unable to control our emotions. We would choose to retaliate against the opposite side, and this behavior is irrational. In this case, we can see that rationality analyzes the pros and cons in order to find the optimal solution. Irrationality is the result of our instincts. There are many hidden irrational behaviors that exist in our lives. So, what impact will these irrationalities have on our work and life? This book will help us find the answer. The irrational behavior of human beings belongs to the research field of behavioral economics. It is a relatively new subject that has evolved from some areas of psychology and economics. Conventional economics assumes that people are rational, and can analyze advantages and disadvantages to make the most favorable decision by themselves. But behavioral economics studies the irrational behaviors of human beings and the decision-making process behind it. This book was written by Dan Ariely, a professor of psychology and behavioral economics at Duke University in the U.S. He has PhD.S in both psychology and business. After publication, his Irrationality book series caused a resurgence in the study of irrationality. The series was highly praised by the Nobel Economics Prize winners Akerlof and Chris Anderson, former editor-in-chief of Wired magazine and author of the best-selling book The Long Tail. Top media outlets, including the New York Times, Harvard Business Review, and the Boston Globe all wrote reviews of recommendation. The success Dan Ariely has achieved in the study of irrational behaviors was inspired by his personal experiences. At the age of 18, when Ariely was in Israel's compulsory military training, a bomb exploded near the arsenal. The explosion caused third-degree burns to 70% of his skin, and a part of his right hand was burned to the bone. On the third day after he was hospitalized, the attending doctor cut through the skin of Ariely's arms and fingers, performing a surgery without using anesthesia. The surgery was successful, but Ariely's arm was badly burned, so the doctor recommended amputation. Ariely refused the suggestion and insisted on keeping his arm, enduring the great pain of medical treatment. It's hard to say whether Ariely made the right decision to keep his arm. If he was a fully rational person, he would have listened to the advice of the doctor, installed an artificial limb and eventually adapted to it. However, he was irrational in that moment, which resulted in more surgeries and more painful experiences. However, the experience he had in the hospital enabled him to observe the world from a different angle, and gave him more time to think about human behavior. This thinking provided the initial inspiration for his later research and study in psychology and behavioral economics. Next, we will discuss the main points of the book The Upside of Irrationality in 3 parts. We will learn how to understand the irrationality behind human behavior, and learn how to make better decisions accordingly. Part 1, How to understand the irrationality of love and make better decisions. Part 2, How to understand irrationality in life and make better decisions. Part 3, How to understand irrationality at work and make better decisions. Okay, next let's talk about the first part, how to understand the irrationality of love and make better decisions. First, let's look at people's irrational behaviors when choosing dating partners. If we are honest with ourselves, every one of us prefer people who are good looking. Based on this preference, we often think that all of us would pursue handsome men or beautiful women when choosing a spouse. However, if you pay attention to reality, you will see that it's not true. Beautiful women mostly date handsome men, while people who are not so good-looking often date others who are also unattractive. Social scientists call this bird of a feather flock together phenomenon assortative mating. Generally speaking, when people are seeking romantic partners, not all of them look for people who are more attractive. Instead, they tend to look for people who have characteristics and attractiveness ranking similar to themselves. Ariely was interested in this phenomenon, particularly in the true inner thinking of those who were less attractive when pursuing spouses of their same attractiveness level. Would they see their choice as the second choice? Or would they console themselves that the good-looking people are not even that attractive? Maybe they might even change their aesthetic standards and treat ugliness as beauty and beauty as ugliness, because they know they can't attract good-looking people. To find the answer to this question, Ariely and his peers conducted a series of investigations. Their final conclusion was the following: people who are good-looking value the other party's appearance more, while those with a less attractive appearance do not alter their aesthetic standards, because they cannot attract those good-looking people. Rather, they still hold accurate judgment on others' physical appearance when choosing a spouse, but they are also aware of their lack of charm and the limitations their appearance has when choosing a spouse. As a result, they will lower their requirements for physical appearance when choosing a partner, and they will learn to appreciate the other virtues of the dating partner, such as kindness, humor, and wisdom. Ariely's study also found that, when compared with males, females place less value on the physical appearance of their dating partners. We mentioned earlier that Ariely's face was scarred by an accident, and that his body was disabled to a certain extent. He was terrified and depressed when he imagined going out on a date with someone whose appearance was similar to him. When he was in graduate school, he participated in a discussion group, met a woman named Sumi, and became friends with her. In Ariely's perspective, Sumi should have been one of those girls who would never like him. But reality surprised Ariely. Sumi fell in love with Ariely because of his sense of humor, and they later got married and had 2 children together. In this regard, Ariely reflected in his book that I now realize how lucky I am that women pay less attention to physical appearance than men do. Ariely's findings indicate that for many people, physical appearance is not the only criteria when choosing a dating partner, and that non-appearance factors are also important. It also shows that we are capable of finding out the peculiarities of our dating partners and loving them even more. Next, let's look at why the success rate of online dating is not that high, and how we can increase our chance of finding a partner. In modern society, we migrate frequently, such as by studying abroad or moving to another city for work. The frequent relocations reduce the number of familiar people we know. Under these circumstances, we might think that it is easier for us to look for a date through online dating. However, Ariely found that in reality, the value of online dating websites to single men and women is not that high. For this purpose, he and his research team conducted investigations on online dating sites. After the participants became members of the dating sites, they filled in their personal information, took the dating selection survey and uploaded their pictures. Once these steps were completed, participants searched for dates as if they were shopping. In the conventional perception of some, mate choosing is a rational choice. We have a standard about the ideal spouse in mind, including height, weight, traits of character, hobbies, education level, and income level. We then search for the qualified candidates according to these standards. If there is a person who can completely match our standards, then that person must be our perfect spouse. Many online dating websites are designed based on this viewpoint. But the results of this study show that when participants dated carefully selected dating partners, the outcome was often not ideal. In this regard, Ariely's explanation is that human attributes are too complex. We are not simply a sum of different kinds of data and descriptions, and website descriptions cannot accurately reflect who we are as a person. Moreover, people can get to know each other more, only when they can experience something together in reality with their dating partners, such as watching movies, eating together, or visiting museums. Then, do we have other options? Of course, we can increase our dating frequency in real life to increase the likelihood of mutual understanding and appreciation for each other. For example, you can create meeting opportunities, get to know others through friends and relatives, or find a better designed online dating platform that allows for higher quality engagement in virtual dating. For example, some online dating apps feature couple game functionality that could help couples get to know each other better before switching to offline dating at a later stage. We are now done talking about romantic relationships. Let's now talk about the experience of a romantic breakup. Many people have experienced broken relationships. The first time we fall out of love, we suffer a lot, and think it is the end of the world. We think we would never emerge from the shadows for the rest of our life, and would never fall in love with another person again. What's more, some people even want to commit suicide. However, as time went by, we would find out that although we hold strong feelings for someone, without him or her, the result may not be as bad as we thought. This is because human beings have wonderful adaptability. After Romeo broke up with his first girlfriend Rosalind, he felt that it was the end of the world. He shut himself in his room and stayed up all night, and his parents were worried about him. When his cousin came and asked how he was doing, he was in the midst of endless sadness, and thought he was as good as dead. However, when Romeo met Juliet, he immediately forgot about Rosalind. The researchers also conducted a 38-week follow-up investigation among some college students, and compared their expected feelings to their actual feelings after a romantic breakup. The results showed that the time period in which participants experienced feeling pain and upset after a romantic breakup was much shorter than what they had expected. This shows that the disappearance of the pain from a romantic breakup is faster than what we assume it to be, and that time is a useful tool for washing away anything. Alright, that concludes the first part of this bookie. Attractive people place higher value on the appearance of their dating partners. People with an ordinary appearance will lower their demand for physical appearance, and learn to appreciate the other virtues of their partner. The success rate of finding your other half on online dating sites is not that high, because many of these websites' design ignores the complexity of human beings, and fails to create an experiential interactive environment. Therefore, we should increase our dating frequency in real life, or look for online dating websites that allow for higher quality virtual engagements. After a romantic breakup, we will suffer in the short term. Still, our adaptability will allow us to gradually recover from the pain and find hope in life once again. Today we are just sharing limited bookie. To unlock more key insights of world-class bestseller, please download our app. Just search for BOOKEY at Apple Store or Google Play. You will get 7 days free trial with more features.